So guys, if you close your eyes and think of some of the most evil things ever, what do you think of? Maybe it's a fictional character, maybe it's a real life world leader, it could literally be anything. Well, when I think of some of the most evil things ever, unironically, one thing that pops up on my list is VTuber agencies. See, a lot of y'all may not notice about me, but I've actually kept up with the VTubing industry for a couple years now. Hell, at one point in time, I was so interested in VTubers, I actually thought about buying a model and testing it out. But one thing that always rubbed me the wrong way when it came to the world of VTubing were the agencies. You see, a lot of people like to compare these agencies to record labels or regular management companies, and while they're similar in structure, find a talent, sign them, boost them to the moon. So at the end of the day, the talent is making profit for the company. What's been revealed time and time again is that a lot of these agencies are exploitive as hell, treating the talent under their umbrella more like cattle to be milked than actual people. Because could you imagine being in the position where you raised over $500,000 for a charity that you truly believed in, all for your agency to keep all of that money for themselves? Well, today, that is what we're talking about. Okay, so quick context. If you don't know who Ironmouse is, she's basically one of the biggest VTubers out right now. At one point in time, she broke the all-time Twitch subbing goal, and is just a really popular VTuber. Now, Ironmouse has this chronic illness called CVID, where basically her immune system is compromised, and she can get sick very easily compared to the average person. And because she struggles with this illness, ever since she's gained this position of being able to help other people, she's been really supportive of this charity called the Immune Deficiency Foundation, or the IDF. And her last subathon, where she would go on to break the all-time Twitch subbing record, was actually a charity subathon for the IDF, where she went on to raise over $500,000 for the foundation, which honestly sounds amazing. It sounds like a fairy tale type of good deed. Well, turns out everything wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, because allegedly the VTuber organization that Ironmouse is signed to is actually the spawn of Satan, because only a day ago she released a video basically saying that not only has her agency been withholding money that they owe her, but that $500,000 that was supposed to go to charity for sick people, yeah, they've been withholding that too.
I am leaving VShojo. Unfortunately, I recently found out that for the past couple of months, I have been misled by VShojo. With the information that I currently have, I believe that I am owed a significant amount of funds, which I have not been paid. And most importantly, the thing that hurts me the most is that the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which is the most important charity to me, and also the reason why I'm here today, is owed over $500,000 from VShojo.
Now, I know some of y'all are probably wondering, saying to yourselves, well, if this was a charity event, what does the agency have to do with this? How would the agency be able to withhold the money? Well, a very common thing when it comes to a lot of these agencies is that they have complete control and access over everything when it comes to these VTubers. I'm talking about Twitch account, Twitter, YouTube. They could go onto your social media accounts and post from your account or take down posts. Not to mention, in a lot of cases, they even own the rights to your name and avatar. Not to mention, there's also the added element that a lot of people that get into VTubing do it for the sole purpose of being private. They want to be online, they want to make content, but they don't want to deal with parasocials or stalkers or just anything weird like that. So to many of them, the idea of signing to an agency does sound appealing. Having this big major corporation that you're supposed to be able to trust back you and handle all your business, and you don't have to worry about being doxxed or having your real life interfered with. And in the case of Ironmouse, this is one of the reasons why VShojo was handling her fundraiser funds. And from what she says, VShojo was donating the funds at first, but it wasn't until the second fundraiser where she raised over $500,000 that the payments never went through.
Because the money came from my Twitch revenue instead of a Tiltify link, it required VShojo to make the donation on my behalf. They promptly sent the payment, and the subathon was a huge success. So I decided to do it again the next year. My last subathon was one of the biggest events I've ever done. The support was overwhelming, and I ended up getting over 300,000 subscribers and breaking the all-time sub record. But this also meant that we had raised $515,000 for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. I once again asked VShojo to make the donation on my behalf, but unfortunately, still a year later, VShojo has not paid the charity.
So as of right now, VShojo hasn't put out an official statement to these claims, but if this is true, all I'm gonna say is this is one of the most comically evil things I have ever heard a company do. Like, as someone who also has a chronic illness, even though I will say my experience is nothing compared to what Ironmouse has had to go through, the entire process of dealing with an illness is miserable, like from start to finish. Your doctors are looking at you like you're crazy because they can't find anything wrong with you, even though the whole time you can clearly tell that something is wrong with you because you feel like you're dying. And then when you finally get diagnosed, if you're not able to get one of the good treatments, you could get a treatment that is still technically helping you, but you could still feel like you're dying. So now imagine that you've went through all that and now you're in a position where you can not only help yourself, but you can help thousands of other people going through the same thing. You've raised so much money for the organization that has not only helped you, but will help people just like you. And the company that you are signed to, that you are one of the main people carrying on its back, just decides to keep all that money for itself. And this is really why I said earlier, a lot of these agencies are shady and exploitive towards their talent. Like, I've seen a lot of people say, oh, why sign to an agency? And even listen to the reasons that I said earlier, a lot of these people are just naive, man. In most cases, these people aren't even trying to be like the biggest streamers in the world or become super famous. They're really just trying to build connections and make a name for themselves. But for a long time, a lot of people thought that in order to become a successful VTuber, you had to sign to an agency, even though we're seeing more and more every day that that's not really the case anymore. But what ends up happening is that a lot of these unknown people end up signing to an agency for a contract that literally gives them scraps and gives the agency everything. And then if you do blow up, it's not really like your contract's getting readjusted. You just have a bigger name now and the company's making even more money off you. And look, don't get me wrong, screwing over anyone is messed up, but the fact that they would do this to Ironmouse is even more insane when she was probably one of the biggest people under the VShojo brand.
I would always be told how important I was for the company, and I was always told that I was needed in order for the company to succeed. Although that was very positive to hear, it put a lot of pressure and a lot of stress on me to the point where I felt guilt tripped into signing. I felt responsible for everybody. I felt responsible for staff and talent alike. And I felt like if I didn't do this and if I didn't stay, I was hurting everybody and I was destroying everybody's life.
And I guess this right here is the biggest thing I don't understand, because objectively, like, they would have to understand how much revenue Ironmouse generates for the company. So why would you jeopardize that revenue, that consistent source of revenue that she brings in, by not donating the money to the company? Because I'm not even a frequent watcher of Ironmouse, and even I know that she's become way more popular ever since that second charity stream. So it only makes sense that if she stays with your agency will make more money. So I don't really understand the logic of keeping the charity money, because number one, they'll probably make more over time by keeping her with the agency, but also number two, did you just think that she wasn't going to find out about it after a year of not sending the money? Like, I've actually seen people trying to defend VShojo, saying things like, oh, well, what if it's just taking a long time? It's so much money. What if there's paperwork involved? I don't know where people would get this idea from, but in no world would it take longer than a month, maybe a couple months if I'm being super generous, to transfer money to a charity. But the thing is, this seems to be a common thing when it comes to this agency, because after Ironmouse made her video about the charity money and that she was leaving VShojo, a lot of other VTubers signed to the agency made statements saying that they were planning to leave VShojo or that they were leaving instantly, which makes sense when one of the biggest people signed to the agency comes out saying that the agency is super shady. It gives a lot of smaller VTubers the confidence to speak publicly about this. But something that kind of confused me is that I'm seeing a lot of reports saying that a lot of their talent is leaving instantly, which I just kind of found surprising, not because it doesn't make sense for them to leave, but because a lot of these contracts control every aspect of these VTubers' lives. So I just kind of found it surprising that they just have the ability to leave whenever they want. Like, I thought there would have been something in the contracts that said there's like a set window on when they could leave, or like they have to talk to the agency first. But apparently no, they can just leave, and they are leaving, because in the span of like only a day, VShojo's reputation has tanked into the ground. Now, outside of Ironmouse's video, there's also this other video that I've been seeing making the rounds on the internet, where it's this other VTuber basically confronting the CEO of VShojo's Japanese branch live on stream.
So I have been lied to from the company a lot about the situation. So my payment stopped last September. I was asking what's going on for a long time, multiple times. All they said was, it's going to be paid, it's going to be paid, it's going to be paid. And it was never paid. and I think it will never be. First of all, I was already planning to leave VShojo this month, specifically on the 31st, because VShojo hasn't paid a significant amount of money to Me Too.
っていうところはあったんですけれども、
So did you just say that VShojo JP itself was doing good
そうですね。
in finances too?
そうですね。
You haven't paid me.
I'm gonna be honest, this is one of the strangest interactions I've ever seen on the internet. You have this VTuber who calls in the CEO of her agency, or at least the Japanese branch, and basically just grills him on live stream. And it's not that I feel bad for the guy or anything, I just don't understand why he agreed to do this. Because he doesn't make the situation or VShojo sound any better, he literally just makes it sound worse.
I quit VShojo today.
はい。
VShojo 辞めます今日。
はい。
はい、31日予定でしたけど、今日辞めます。I quit. This is very wrong. ローさん。
はい。
Very, very wrong. You're telling me that VShojo JP was doing good? Looked like, at least.
はい。
Doing good.
払っていたとしても、ケイソンに払っていたとしても大丈夫だったっていう感じですね。
You're telling me you could have paid me?
そういうことです。
Then where is it? Where is it? I want it now. Oh. Did you just die? What?
いや、
So to sum it up, the conversation basically just goes with the CEO saying, yeah, you know, we kind of had the money to pay you. We could have paid you at any time, but, you know, we were kind of struggling a little bit in our English department. So even though we owed you money and we said talent first, we're just going to like hold off on the money that we owe you. But, you know, don't worry. It's coming. It's coming any month now. But funny enough, while they were holding off on paying the VTubers, according to the stream, the CEO was still getting paid and staff members working at VShojo were still getting paid. Yeah, so I think it's safe to say that it's VShojo over. Not only are they losing all their talent, but public reception around them is terrible. I literally can't even see how they would bounce back from this. It's honestly just a really unfortunate situation overall. A lot of VTubers got messed over because this company wanted to move shady. And I think it's also going to be pretty sad that a lot of people are probably going to lose their jobs who had absolutely nothing to do with this and had no idea that this agency was moving like this. But if there's any positive to come out of this situation, after Ironmouse posted her initial video, she put a link to Tiltify so you could donate to the Immune Deficiency Foundation. And now that Tiltify is already at over $700,000. So at least there's that one positive. But yeah, like I said, it's VShojo over. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. And until then, it's been your boy Corin, and I'm off this.